Hi, I'm Pastor Paul Krueger. I'm the Executive Director and founder of Hope Learning Academy. I hope you are enjoying these videos. I hope that they are feeding into your life. That's what they're for. These videos are coming from the curriculum that we use at our school in order to propel our students forward in their thinking and to maybe unstick the places in their journey that they're getting stuck from, the places where they might be stuck in the mud, not moving forward. We need to get those wheels turning again. So today we're talking about those wow, that's me moments that we all have. We just fail to recognize them sometimes. If you've attended Hope Learning Academy before, you're one of our alumni, or you're currently attending, you will recognize this as one of the more popular 4-8 lessons. But I want to relate it to something else that I do. I'm a travel ball coach. I'm the president of the California Raiders Travel Ball Organization for softball. And one of the things that we do also is we take our 4-8 curriculum that we use with our students and we apply it to the game. And it applies really, really well because especially softball, sort of like life, it can sometimes feel like a game of failure. Think about it. When a hitter is up to bat, they have a 75% chance of not hitting the ball, a 25 to 30% chance of being successful with each at-bat. And so we don't go out there and say, hey, avoid the 75%, avoid the 75%. We tell them every pitch is a new pitch and go be you. Go be great because you're great. So for those things to work, for those reminders to be effective, our girls have to already know who they are. That's a big deal. Our identities are big deals. The kids in my school, whether they're trying to overcome addiction, maybe it's social anxiety and they're afraid to go out. Maybe they just don't feel like they fit in, and so they don't know how to approach life. Maybe they've had some tragedy. I have students that have gone through tragedies or abuse in their life, and they're trying extremely hard to overcome those and to move forward. Regardless of that, man, when life throws you the 75% failure, we have to count that instead of as failure, we have to count it as feedback. And we have to find the things in our lives that we can build on that are good because there's always something. There's always a new pitch. There's always a way to swing the bat no matter what, regardless of what we've been through. So today we're going to talk about the imposter. We're going to talk about identity. Who are you? We're going to talk about the real you and the imposter. So your identity is a big deal. You heard me just say that the girls on my team have to understand who they are. Now, I come from a Christian perspective, being a Christian pastor. And so identity is huge to me. I consider myself what Scripture tells me that I am. And that is that I am God's amazing creation. There's only one of me. Some people say, thank goodness. Okay? There's only one of me. And that one of me is someone that God desires to spend time with. So he calls me wonderful. And he also gives me the right to be called a child of God because of his forgiveness in my life and for his blood covering me, his sacrifice, adopting me as his heir, adopting me as his child. So when a Christian uses the words, I am a beautiful, wonderful child of God, it means something huge. Now, you may not have that identity. You can still benefit from the truth of Scripture, and that is that you are beautifully and wonderfully made, that God does desire time with you, that whether you can find the value in you or whether anybody else does find the value in you, you have tremendous value because you are a human being, because you are somebody who deserves and has a right to be loved and is loved. If no other human being loves you, there's a God in heaven that loves you and has a purpose for your life. So in that identity, we're able to propel forward. We're able to realize that no matter what is thrown at us by this world, whatever pitch is coming, if we can't hit that pitch, there's always another pitch. And we can always move forward and we can discover the distance between the real us and the imposter. So the real you, the real me, is that identity I was already telling you about. That I have value because I exist. I have value because God desires me, and I have value because he went to tremendous efforts of his own to make me his. And in that value, there can also be the real me or the imposter. The imposter is the voice that I have that I talk to in and of myself, my self-talk, that doesn't agree with the identity that God gave me. It's those thoughts that I have that aren't in alignment with who God made me to be, with that value that I have. Whether you believe in Jesus Christ or not, you have value. You have that value. Now, I think that value is fully realized when we're in Jesus Christ. But you can discover God by getting more in touch with the value that he's placed on your head and on your soul, the value that he was willing to die for. Let's apply it now. So, wow, that's me. The wow, that's me moments are those moments in your life when you do something amazing. Now, what you do with that amazing moment will help you to determine whether the imposter is driving the car of your life or whether the real you is. Okay? So you do something great. You do something that exceeds even your expectations. You're at a peak performance moment, or you've turned a corner that you didn't think you could turn. Maybe you've found more days than ever of sobriety. Maybe you've found sobriety for the first day of your life. Maybe you've had love expressed to you, or you've given or received love in a healthy manner that you haven't experienced in a long time. Maybe you got a job promotion. Maybe you're at peace even though you were laid off your job. Maybe you feel like you wish you were a turtle, that you could crawl into a shell and disappear because things are bad right now. Whatever you're experiencing, run to the value. Don't let the imposter vote on your next steps, and decide that you have such tremendous value that it's important to find a way to get the bat in your life on the ball and to hit for the fences because of your value, because of the tremendous value that you have. There's no reason for you not to swing for the fences. So let's talk about it a little bit. The wow, that's me moments. And let me get to my notes here. From time to time, we all have those experiences that I just talked about. The imposter, when you have this great experience or when you've achieved something wonderful, the imposter is going to say, oh, that was just good luck. Or it was just an accident that happened to you. Or just wait, here comes the cynic. It'll all unravel. What I think is good's not going to last. We have all those voices that we're conditioned by our society to have. We have experts right now that are deciding how bad it might be in America with COVID-19 instead of how good it can be in spite of COVID-19. And we're conditioned to think that way. We're conditioned to think that way with the weather. How rainy might it be today instead of what's the percentage of sunshine today. There's a 10% chance of rain where I'm at. Okay, I can focus on the 10% chance of rain or the 90% chance of sunshine. Now, if you like rain, then focus on the 10%. But you get the gist of it. The imposter is going to find all the reasons that we shouldn't move forward. The real you, the one with the value, the one who was fearfully and wonderfully made and desired by God, who paid a price to know you and to have fellowship with you and with me, the identity that you have in God, the identity that he gave you as his creation, would never say those things. So we have to be on guard to not let the imposter speak about our achievements, to not let the imposter speak about our breakthrough thoughts, our overcoming moments. Instead, we have to tell the imposter to sit down and shut up, basically. We have to tell the imposter that the imposter doesn't get a vote on what we do next. And we can take our energy from defeating the imposter to building off of the good in our lives. You know, if you've lost your job, if you've lost a relationship, if you're going through a heartbreak, if you're grieving, my family is in a grief mode this week. We lost somebody dear to us this week in our family. Whatever you are going through, we can focus on the good things that we can do from it and the good things we can think from it, or we can focus on the bad things that won't move us forward. So the next time the imposter is speaking up in your life and performing that mental trick of turning your self-image to a negative place, or hogging the credit for your best moments or your breakthrough thoughts, man, sit the imposter down. And instead of that, man, be thankful and say, wow, that's me. That's the real me. And I'm going to build from that good. The imposter tries to convince you that you're playing over your head in some way. No, when you do something great, when you have that moment, that's the real you that you should be building from. not wondering how that accident happened. And this applies just as well to what I was talking about in the beginning on the softball field. If you were at one of my practices for the California Rangers, you would hear me say from time to time, "There you are," or "There she is." And people ask me, what do you mean by that? Well, because when a player does something great, I know that that's the real you and the real them that we're striving towards. And I want them to understand that at their peak best moments, that's what they're capable of. And they're capable of even greater. So we can set the bar there. And when they fall short of that bar, that's just feedback from the imposter trying to convince them that they can't reach that place anymore. Too many times we'll play out of fear. I'll see my players throw a ball carefully, or they don't swing at that pitch that might have been a little bit outside but was up in the zone that they could have stepped into and sent to the opposite field. They don't attack a ball because they're afraid they're going to miss it when they're fielding. Whatever it is, you can't play by fear in softball and get outs. Did you know? And if you don't care about softball, then this might not excite you like it does me, but it's still something you can learn from. In softball, the fastest players, especially at the collegiate level, they get to first base in under 3 seconds, or from base to base in under 3 seconds. So what happens when a fielder on defense in softball plays out of fear? Well, girls are going to be safe, because the more you waste your time on the fear thinking or the fear acting or on giving the imposter a microphone, the less you're going to attack that ball, the longer you're going to take, and the more likely it is for that girl to get to first base in under 3 seconds. We waste time when we focus on the bad. We waste time when we listen to the imposter. We gain time and we propel ourselves forward at warp speed, if you will, when we focus on the wow, that's me moments, and we accept them as there's my identity. There's the me that I'm reaching for. There's the me I can move forward from. When good things happen to you, they're blessings. They're not accidents. When overcoming thoughts happen, that's you aligning your brain with the truth. And that's you blocking out the negative and blocking out the imposter and the stinking thinking and the games that we all play with ourselves. And that's, wow, that's you. There you are. Now build from that. The truth is, our peak moments, when we appear to be playing over our head, are actually glimpses of our full potential. And those glimpses of our full potential, they should remind us that we have tremendous value and we can reach for great things. God has a desire to feed into your life abundantly, to give you joy that can't be replaced by anything people could make, not with their hands, not with their mouths, not with anything. We can't speak the power of God into existence. The power of God exists. We speak the power of God into existence in our lives when our words agree with the power He already has and wants to unleash in our lives to move us forward. God desires to move us past our pain. God didn't intend death. My job as I grieve somebody that I love is not to, overcome it, move past it, act like it's not there, turtle. Overcoming it means bringing my thoughts into alignment with what God says about death. God didn't intend it. God has hope that reaches beyond human death. God has the ability to propel us into places of joy. Psalm 23 says that though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. Not I'm with my own thinking, not the imposter is hanging out with me, but God is with me. And He leads me beside cool waters and in green pastures. So God refreshes us when our spirits are parched. God feeds living water into our throats that are dry, our spiritual throats that are so dry. And He brings a bloom out of the most choked vine that is our lives. Will you with me decide to accept the challenge to quiet the imposter? That when you have a great moment in your life, when you overcome or when you move forward, when God does something great through you, or you see God bless your life in some way, and you see your identity being the real you, can you with me say, wow, that's what God prepared me for. Wow, God made me capable of that. I'm going to do it again. When a girl makes a great play, on my field, I know she can do it again. And part of my job as a coach is to help her believe it too. Wow, that's you, I'll tell her. There you are. You'll hear me yell, wow. When one of my pitchers strikes out a hitter, sometimes you'll hear me go, who did that? Who did that? Who did that? And just probably to shut me up because I'm that crazy coach from the dugout yelling, who did that? They go, me, coach, I did that. But what an amazing thing it is to know that when we have those moments, like you may have heard a thunk in the background, that was my daughter missing a ball and not hitting it. What's she going to do with that moment? She's going to move towards her next wow, that's me moment where she hits the ball. Regardless of what is happening in your and my life, we can bring ourselves into alignment with how God prepared us to deal with life and to move forward. If you're watching this and you need to talk, or you want to give some feedback on the video, or you have a question, or you need prayer, my email address is FirebreakPaul.com, or at gmail.com. It's technology. FirebreakPaul@gmail.com. FirebreakPaul@gmail.com. Or just leave a message here in the comments, and I'll see it. I don't have tons of subscribers or watchers or anything, and I monitor it very carefully so that if you need me, I'm there. If you want to know more about what I do with teenagers in Southern California, go to www.atriskhope.com. ATRISKHOPE.com. You can also get a hold of me through there. Until the next video, I hope that you're well. I hope that you'll take this to heart like I need to, and that we'll both go find those wow, that's me moments, and we'll let God propel us forward. Regardless of what you're going through right now, focus on the good and move forward. Please have a blessed wow, that's me week. See you later.